want to lord it over to those who do not belong to your association. What do you expect? He took one of our leaders there to come and call me and said, Chairman, please order the release of these boys. And they will not, we ordered their release. See. And not long after at Egberi, they went after another person. So when he's denying in the studio that they did not hold anybody, I'm going to give you the facts and the details.
The major, okay, all right. The major concern for you is not the increase in the price, but the alleged impounding of or stopping the operations of trucks that are under your association.
Simple, because we, as a law-abiding citizen, the law allows anybody to increase his price. I cannot dictate for somebody what to sell his goods or what not to sell his goods. And at the same time, somebody will not arrogate it to himself under the pretense of whatever name, whether sanitation or whatever. Let me say it clearly to the whole River State. Each time we want to increase price, we'll come up with this pseudo of we're doing sanitation. Whether it's in River State, whether it's in Lagos.
Is that something that HWAP does, or you're saying it's what every association does?
It is what all the associations do. They come up with pseudo.
All right.
They are doing sanitation.
Is this, Mr. Mackson, is this the case? Because you've increased the price of water 2-3 different times.
Yes.
So is this the process that followed before you increased at those times?
No, we declare strike. There was never a time we have increased price only in the name of sanitation. We declare strike, a statewide strike.
For all members of your association?
Yes. Now, the issue of saying some people were arrested and handed over to OSPAC, I would just say they should just thank their stars that such information did not get to me. That some drivers were arrested, or some boys were arrested and handed over to OSPAC. If I had gotten the information, are those people that were arrested and handed over to OSPAC are workers, drivers that goes to distribute these waters and handed out to OSPAC instead of the police, I would have arrested the OSPAC and whoever gave that order. OSPAC is not a police station. It's not a police office. It's not a law enforcement agency that you now say you arrest people and hand it over to OSPAC. So when people could say they are educated, so I'm beginning to wonder the kind of education they have.
All right, let's hold it there and give it the pause, gentlemen. We'll take a very short commercial. When we come back, we will now figure out, is Antwerp also intending to increase price? Or is there anything wrong in increasing price?
You
Stay
are
with us.
tuned in to
Nigeria Info.
on the line with us. Mr. Okay, I'm sure you can still hear me.
Yeah.
Thank you for staying on the line for us. And Mr. Mackson Egberi also is in the studio, the chairman of HWAPAN, here with us. Gentlemen, before we go on, let's quickly inform the listener. Let us know what you think about the recent increase in the cost of sachet water. Is it justifiable? My guest in the studio said for members of HWAPAN, they increased it because of the production cost. They also have to pay their workers. The cost of running their factories is now a problem. And if they are to stay in business, well, that increase needed to be made, and they put a benchmark to it. So they have people that might be selling above the benchmark, but the minimum should be 400 naira. That's what they have said. I would start with you, Mr. Okay, on this note. You've said quite a lot in response to the perceived clash that happened on the roads involving your members and members of HWAPAN as a result of their sanitation exercise, which you have also said you don't agree with. So my question is, HWAPAN is increasing price of sachet water for the reasons that they have stated, which many people will say is quite obvious. Are we expecting same from HWAP as well? Are members of HWAP going to consider that as well?
I want you and the people of River State to listen closely. HWAP is not considering any price, because by the time we advise our people to set 300, there were benchmarks on which the 300 were based. And for that 300 to be raised, all the associations sat down in a meeting, went through these benchmarks and agreed. HWAPAN was there, HWAP was there. All of us sat down for several weeks going through this. And those benchmarks have not been breached. The only near breach in those benchmarks was the fuel price that went up, but we did not receive back. Now, the truth of the matter is that we advise you to set 300. As I'm talking to you, there are those who are still selling water at 150, 200. Now, in
River State.
Yeah, that is black.
Yes, in River State.
Okay.
In River State. Yes. Even as of this morning.
Can you give an example, like if possible, mention the name of this brand? Mr. Mackson, just allow me conduct the interview for Rivers people to hear. So, because I'm sure a lot of people will be happy if they can get water for 150, 200.
Now, listen. They can go to Diobu, they can go to Rumola, they can even go to Ada George.
And which of the factories there?
I'm not putting particular to any factory here now, but I'm telling you what is in the open market. Now, that is one. There have never been any time advisory note on price increases raised in River State that all the association were not involved. But this time around, HWAPAN unilaterally choose to increase price without the consent and input of other associations.
All right.
And to us, we have not seen any reason to increase price for now.
All right, Mr. Okay.
For you as a moderator to say that water has increased in River State, please situate this very well.
No, please, I said HWAPAN. Maybe you did not get that part. But let me also conclude. Yes. This thing you have said about HWAP, is it a national thing? Is the price of water in Lagos, in Bayelsa, in Delta, and other parts of the local governments across the country where you have your association present, are they also selling for 300 naira and less?
Now, I am a member of the National Expanded School of HWAP. In our national meeting as of October last year, we asked states, looking at your own peculiarities, move your prices looking at your peculiarities. HWAP does not have this hard and fast rule. That's why I can see some states of HWAP selling for 400, some are selling for 350, some are selling for 300, depending on their peculiarities.
No, but then in River State, we have those that are selling for 200 and 150.
I am not telling you something you cannot verify as a journalist.
That's why we're asking. The reason is, if at least...
And again, let me put it here that you're talking to me. And all those people that are selling to 200, their sachet is criminally undermining the pack size that they registered. They have written on their pack size 50 cl, while at the same time, they are producing and selling to people 30 cl.
All right, Mr. Okay, I needed to understand. Sorry to bring you back a bit because I needed some clarity so that the people listening would know. Because now the cost of water, if anybody can find a cheaper one with good quality, I'm pretty sure they'd want to patronize it. That's why I need you to be clear. You said in HWAP, there are some people that are selling for 200, 150.
I am not saying in HWAP. I'm telling you that across the state, across all the bodies, there are people who are still selling below. They're selling 200, 150. It's in the open market.
All right. Mr. Mackson, is that correct? It says across all the bodies. And yes, there are more than 2 bodies in Rivers State that are in charge of water production. So are there any ones in your organization that's selling 200, 150?
Well, I'm not aware of anybody selling below. That means even the packaging material the person is using, the person is stealing it. Or because gentlemen, I would really need us to get names. If Mr. Okay, if you can give us names, fine. Mr. Mackson, if you can give us names, fine. But we need to have names so that people can look at those waters. Located. There is no factory. I don't know their names. I don't know where they are located. I know everything, even both in HWAP and HWAPAN.
You know the factories in HWAP. Yeah, are you a member of HWAP?
I was once their state chairman. I was a state chairman for 4 years, and I was their national vice president. And I've hosted 2 conventions and all the rest of that. In fact, anything concerning HWAP, I'm the arrowhead when it comes to HWAP. Then, when you come to ranking, if it's a military field, the young man talking cannot lace my boots. I appointed him when I was in HWAP. I appointed him. Somebody recommended him to me. I appointed him as a zonal chairman of Igbo. So he's my boy. So, but when it comes to ranking, he cannot lace my
gentlemen.
boots.
But then it looks as though that both unions have their rights.
Yes, sir.
So what is the problem?
Andrew, let me tell you what the problem is. I'm being domineering. That is his anger. That I'm being domineering. He made a call to somebody. I said his problem a few days ago. That his problem with me is that I'm being domineering. I don't carry him along. I can't fathom when you say the benchmark for production of sachet water, bottled water, is fuel. That means you are sitting as a chairman without a vision.
Mr. Okay, you get your time to respond. Let's just allow him finish.
You know nothing about the cost of production when it comes to running a factory. Because the benchmark is not only fuel. What about the light bill? What about the cost of the diesel you use in producing? What about the cost of fuel for those of us who are using generator to produce? What about the cost of fuel for distribution? What about the wear and tears of your machines, your distribution vehicles, your building? Yes, even though you are the one that owns the building, that business is a tenant. It's supposed to pay you rent. You have not fathomed that one into it. Now you talk about the packing bags. You talk about the nylon, the waste. During production, you incur losses. You have not fathomed that one into production. Now, you have not talked about the director's salary. In fact, 99% of us are not paying ourselves salary. Because how can you pay yourself salary when the business is not even making profit? Let's be sincere. It's only a wicked person that will come on air and say we water producers are undoing the public.
But was he right when he said that all the unions usually come together and agree on the price benchmark?
The issue of union coming together, we have done that in the past. And you will just wake up one morning, receive a call from him or a text message from him, they are no longer interested. And all of a sudden, I will start receiving call that I'm the one that caused everything. That the chairman said I'm the like the last one, when the enforcement and monitoring team was pulled out from the road. I keep hearing that I was the one that pulled out the enforcement team. Why was the one that called me and said these people, there's no need for them again, they should go? I said whatever thing you say. Because some of his members also complained that his pain and frustration is that I'm the one that is calling the shots. I should allow him to call the shots. When we increased to 300, HWAPAN suggested 300 looking at the variables. When we had a meeting, he said 350. since I've already gotten an information from some of his members that this is his problem, we held a meeting at Pepperoni at Rumodara. And he said 350. I said, no problem. I accept. I said 350, so be it. 2 days later, he called me and said that 350 cannot work. Okay, let's go with the 300. I said, anything you say. Well, because when you look at the associations involved, HWAPAN is the largest when it comes to, in terms of membership. Now, let's narrow it down to Rivers State. HWAPAN is new, but HWAPAN is largest here in Rivers State and in Lagos. And we're entering states. Now, that is his pain. He has a core mandate, one core mandate by the national president. The core mandate the national president gave to him to see how to destroy HWAPAN. But of course, something you are not there when it was betted. How can you destroy it? You don't have that power.
Let's get his response. Mr. Okay, what would you say to some of the things he had said? Are there anything you dispute with the meetings, the prices, the talks about some members of HWAP who are not happy with you and how you are operating and your displeasure with perhaps...
Moderator, I am not in the meeting where they told him this, so I wouldn't know what he's saying. Because I know that as of December this year, I voluntarily tendered my resignation not to function as HWAP chairman by January. And
at the moment, you're not HWAP chairman.
Wait, let me finish talking. At the end of our end of the year party, the people refused and voted unanimously that I cannot step down. Now, I don't know where he gets his information. He has the right to get an information. I don't quarrel with that. You know, whether they are right or wrong, he knows how he got it. But what I'm saying is, and I keep insisting, nobody is against anybody increasing price. But we are saying that no man should laterally want to impose price increase on anybody. And again, I never said that fuel was only the indices or the variables that were used. I said in all the variables that were used, the only one that have been breached now is only the fuel price and went up. I didn't say it was only fuel. And again, let me say it to everybody in Rivers State. The young man seated in the studio they are talking does not have any factory at all. He got himself tied to a factory. He does not have a factory, a no functional factory.
Yes.
So when he talks about I'm ignorant, I don't know anything. I have a functional factory. We are working every day. I have no functional factory.
Hold on. I'm sorry, Mr. Okay. He doesn't have a factory or he doesn't have a functional factory.
He doesn't have a factory
Mr. Mackson, allow me. Okay. He doesn't have a factory at all.
At all.
Okay. If you want to say, Mr.
Mr.
Mackson, do you have a factory?
Yes, I do. Let me respect to his blatant lies.
Where is your factory and what is the name of it, perhaps, so we clarify?
Water, Egberi pipeline, pipeline off Egberi Road. Now, this drama has been going on for long. Even when I was HWAP chairman, even some people, when they told some people they came, when they came, they came to the place, they came to the factory, they saw me there. Because when they even came, they saw my picture in the office, in our factory. And they say, okay, why all these lies? Him that is talking about functional factories. Now, let me talk about him in question. We are going to run an investigation on him. Now, the NAFDAC number is using, the name is using, it was the ice cream business he was doing in the north. When that north crisis came up between Igbo and the Northerners, he found his way to Port Harcourt and started using the ice cream number for sachet water. He was producing sachet water.
How come nobody reported that at the time, if it was not proper?
Good. As at then, I'm not into this NAFDAC number of 18. It was when we now had crisis in HWAP, and the national have seen that I'm leaving. There was a plan to impose him as the acting chairman. It was there to not discovered that he has no NAFDAC documents. Now, the national president tried to use her power to see how to get NAFDAC papers for him. I can bring all this information from our platform. I posted it on the platform. That they find somebody document, they no see am. National president, no, they see how she go to fabricate documents. Now, somebody who claims to have a functional factory, you will go and pay for renewal, but NAFDAC could not come for inspection. It does not allow NAFDAC to come for inspection in his factory.
Right, we don't have a lot of time. I wish we can say more, but let's get your clarification on this, Mr. Okay. What he said, is there any truth in it? Let's respond quickly so we take some messages and calls.
Well, I like what he said. I will turn it over to our lawyers to reach over to him.
Yes, our lawyer will also reach over to you by calling HWAPAN and the legal body.
So you can prove. I never produced ice cream in the north. I never did that at all. And my registered name when I was producing yogurt was Royalty Yogurt. Never at any time has it anything to do with the name of the water today.
I need to answer.
All right.
So we'll slug that one out and get his facts.
All right. Well said then, gentlemen. Let's quickly take 1 or 2, 3 calls before we get done with it. 0817-923-0007, 0817-923-0003. 0817-923-0007, 0817-923-0003. For many, would say clearly the possibility of these unions working together, should we not? It looks as though it's just a disagreement between two unions that have a responsibility of providing potable drinking water. Well, what's your thoughts with the cost changes in the price of water? Is it justifiable? This one says, top of the morning. This person says, does sachet water have expiring date? Andrew, try and visit some of these water factories and see how dirty their environments are. Some of the factories are contributing to malaria and typhoid because the water that they produce isn't pure. Thank God, ability. Good morning. This one says the new price 400 is exorbitant, particularly when you factor in lack of proper water treatment facilities. This raises serious concerns about the quality and safety of water being sold. It's essential that these companies prioritize the well-being of their customers and reconsider their pricing strategy. I'm perplexed by the tendency of some Nigerian companies to make life more difficult for their fellow citizens. Maxwell Inna from Port Harcourt sent that one in. Nigeria Info, good morning. Your name, please, and where you're calling from. Hello, good morning. Your name, please, and where you're calling from.
Good morning, Andrew.
All right.
And also, I greet your online guest. My name is Comrade Kuate Magnus, and I'm calling from Port Harcourt.
All right. Quickly, please.
Andrew.
Yes.
You can now see that the disparities between these unions is actually not going that well with the third party, the rivers people, the people who are actually consuming this water. This is not the first time these, discrepancies is coming up. And I want to appeal to them. It is not about this cost production. It is about the attitude of the individual in these organizations who have not come together to make a fit things to themselves. It is very important that if you cannot put your house together, there is no how you can go outside and do something meaningful or tangible. So I want to appeal to them, in as much as I know that things are very hard in the country and the cost of production is quite high, their attitude must change a lot of things in their organization. I want to appeal to them to come together to make sure that this filter of a thing that is skyrocketing can come down, because water, as they say, is life. We must drink water to survive in this. Thank you so much, and God is my
All right, thank you very much. Isaiah in Buguma, good morning.
Yes, Andrew, good morning.
Good morning.
Your guest. Morning to them. You see, Andrew, what I saw is that in as much as there is a very high cost of economic difference in Nigeria, I think what I saw between your two guests is that they are only out to wash their dirty linens. You see, what we are getting there from them is a age-long dispute that is between them. I think for that, I would say they should just stop going in that direction and see how they can settle their scores and have peace among them. But for the maintenance issue that is always an accusation for I want to say that, you see, that is cut across almost almost this factory that is producing, we go to cement. Anytime they say there is factory maintenance, whenever they come back, you will see an hike. It's every year. I don't want to mention these companies, but we know all these things.
All right,
so
Isaiah.
I want to say that they should know that water no get enemy.
Thank you. Okonkwo and Rumokuta, quickly, we'll take Okonkwo and then we wrap things up. Okonkwo, good morning.
Good morning.
You're welcome.
By their explanations, because that's what a law, that's what we call law and logic. Mm-hmm. To discover that our brother online built on laws and principles. But our brother in the studio, it's like he measures on sentiment. I give you an example. The pure water between 2002 and 2003 was 250 naira per bag. Mm-hmm. So, when they wanted to increase it that time, there was radio discussion for many days and for many weeks. They sensitized the public and the citizens and told them, because fuel has increased, diesel has increased, we have accepted to move to 350 naira per bag. That was under the consultation of all the unions. Why is it, even we, the citizens, we are surprised and we are not happy that overnight they said that pure water is now 500 because there was no legitimate and legal consultations of the union. So they should go back to the union, agree and tell us how much. But for now, we will buy they should make it 350 naira. Thank you.
All right, thank you. And then one more call, Dr. Okidin. We're already out of time. Let's hear you.
Yes, there are a lot of things that are happening beyond their quarrel. You can see the lot of cover-up. Somebody not having that number, somebody not having factory and all that. This quarrel is
Mr. Mackson,
a lot of things. And the government should really investigate these sharp practices that are going on in their factories. Somebody not having that number and is producing water that we are drinking. Somebody not having a decent company and is not allowing NAFDAC to come for inspection. Beyond their quarrel, these are things I'm seeing. So, as they are regulatory authorities, the unions are not regulatory bodies that will fix prices and then the prices will remain there. Now, beyond fixing prices, those who buy from them to sell to us are also making so much gain, more than even those who are producing. I'm coming. Who is in charge of regulating prices in this industry? Please, that is my take, please.
All right, Dr. Okidin, thank you. Gentlemen, unfortunately, it's too much we can take. Mr. Oke, the chairman of HWAP, Rivers State, thank you for joining us on the show this morning.
Thank you.
And Mr. Mackson Egberi here with us in the studio. Thank you also for joining us this morning. We have to wrap it up here. Hello, Port Harcourt, we follow immediately afterwards. But whatever it is, please, we would only encourage that these unions try as much as possible to work together and make sure that we don't only pay high cost for water. Let us pay high cost for quality water. If at all there is a need for the price to go up. If not, please, whatever that can be done to keep the prices minimal, let it be done. Thank you again and have yourself a great morning. Jude is coming in next.